Lowville's next police chief has been named. Daryl Ortlib gets that job. Ortlib has 10 years with the Lowville Police Department and 20 years in law enforcement experience, including many years at the Lewis County Sheriff's Department and at the Boonville Police Department. Interim Chief Mike Taybalt will stay on until the end of the year. The changes come after former Chief Randy Rogie retired at the end of June following a state investigation into official misconduct, which also involves Philip Turk from the department. The men have pleaded not guilty in that case.